On the evening of October 3, 2025, a Ukrainian strike group prepared its boldest operation yet. The objective: cripple a Russian pontoon crossing over the Dnipro River, a bridge that had become the lifeline for thousands of Russian troops on the western bank. If destroyed, entire battalions would be cut off, stranded without supplies or reinforcements. But the mission was perilous. The crossing was protected by some of the most advanced air defenses Russia could deploy. From the very start, the battlefield was saturated with electronic warfare. Russian Kreska 4 and Murmansk BN systems jammed the airwaves, creating a bubble of interference stretching dozens of kilometers. Even civilian radios in nearby villages fell silent. For the Ukrainian strike teams, that meant one thing: they would be flying blind, with only pre-programmed coordinates and their own ingenuity to guide them. The weapons chosen for the assault were diverse. A battery of Vilkha-M missiles, modified for precision strikes. Storm Shadow cruise missiles, provided by Western allies, designed to fly low and evade radar. And a swarm of long-range attack drones, each carrying smaller but highly accurate warheads. The idea was simple: overwhelm the Russian defenses with layers of threats coming from different directions. But as military history shows, plans rarely survive the first shot. At 21:12, the first wave of drones lifted off. Small, fast, and expendable, they were meant to serve as decoys, drawing the attention of Russian radars and air defenses. Within minutes, Russian Tor-M2 systems lit up the sky with tracers. The drones began to fall one by one, but every launch revealed the location of the interceptors. Ukrainian operators marked the coordinates silently, preparing the next move. At 21:20, 4 Vilkha-M rockets screamed into the night. They climbed high before diving toward the pontoon bridge. Russian Buk-M3 launchers immediately responded, firing interceptors in pairs. The duel was brutal. On radar screens, bright arcs clashed mid-air, but the Vilkha's evasive maneuvers confused the Buk systems. 2 missiles were destroyed, but 2 survived, pressing onward. Then, at 21:24, the most dangerous phase began. From a hidden airbase, a pair of Ukrainian Su-27 fighters, modernized with NATO avionics, entered the battle space. Their mission: suppress Russian air defenses long enough for the cruise missiles to strike. Flying barely above tree level, the Su-27s launched anti-radiation missiles toward Russian radars. The gambit worked. Russian S-300 and S-400 systems switched on, giving away their positions. Within seconds, the Ukrainian missiles locked on, but the Russians were not passive. 2 MiG-31 interceptors scrambled from a base near Kursk, armed with long-range R-37M missiles. Their radars, designed to hunt at extreme distances, picked up the Su-27s. The chase was on. For the Ukrainian pilots, survival meant constant maneuvering. Every missile launch forced them to dive, climb, or twist in desperate evasion. Flares lit the night sky, streaks of fire in a deadly dance. While the dogfight raged above, the second wave of Ukrainian strikes was already inbound. At 21:31, 2 Storm Shadows penetrated Russian airspace at barely 100 meters altitude, slipping under radar coverage, guided by terrain-following software. The Russians scrambled Panzer S-1 batteries, firing both cannons and missiles into the dark. But the Storm Shadows split, approaching from opposite angles, forcing the defenses to divide. At 21:36, the first Storm Shadow hit its target. A direct impact on the center span of the pontoon crossing. The explosion ripped the structure apart, sending armored vehicles plunging into the Dnipro. Seconds later, the second missile struck the fuel barges moored nearby. The detonation ignited a firestorm, flames rising hundreds of meters, illuminating the river like daylight. For the Russians, it was disaster. The crossing, built over weeks under constant threat, was gone in a matter of minutes. Thousands of troops found themselves stranded, their retreat cut off. But the price was high for Ukraine, too. One Su-27 was struck by an R-37M missile. The pilot ejected, but his fate remained unknown as he drifted into Russian-controlled territory. Yet the mission's success outweighed the loss. The destruction of the crossing crippled Russian logistics across the sector. Artillery units on the western bank ran out of shells within days. Armor stalled without fuel. Entire brigades had to withdraw or face encirclement. The Dnipro, once a river to cross, had become a wall separating life from defeat. But beyond the explosions and wreckage, this battle revealed something deeper. That modern war is no longer decided by sheer numbers, but by layers of technology. On the modern battlefield, dominance belongs not to the largest army, but to the one that adapts fastest, strikes smartest, and disappears before the smoke clears.